Start with the Pledge of Allegiance,
I thought of you today.
followed by a moment of silence. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. Start off with citizen concerns. Seeing none, we'll move on to approval of the agenda. I will move that. Motion by Raddick, second by DeWitt. Anyone in favor, or any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Passes 5-0. Moving on to the consent agenda. Items 3 through 6 constitute a consent agenda of routine action items to be considered by one motion. Items pass unanimously unless a separate vote is requested by a board member. Item 3, approval of the minutes of the October 22nd, 2019 meeting. Item 4, approval of claims. Item 5, from the auditor, receive county recorder's report of fees collected. Item 6, from Human Resources. A, approval of memorandum of personnel transactions. B, authorization to initiate hiring process. And C, approval of the date and financial impact of the 2019 annual Fall Safety Day. I will move the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion by Raddick, second by DeWitt. Any discussion on any of those items? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Passes 5-0. Moving on to item 7 from Glenn here at the Communication Center. Approval of First Amendment to the Public Service Radio System Governance Agreement, STARCOM.
Glenn Sedeby, Communications Director, here in support of the STARCOM Executive Board. The STARCOM Executive Board is asking for the board to approve First Amendment to the STARCOM agreement. This agreement's been in force for 13 years. Basically amending portions of the original agreement, some which is membership. Dakota County's changed some of their membership. They no longer have a law enforcement director. Changing some of the actual financing portion of it. It had been in the past. Bills have been processed through Gary Brown's department. Now they're processed through our department. Wendy Hess takes care of the invoices. Past, they've been billed on actual expenditures. The board requests that those be billed on the actual budget itself. I believe quarterly. The actual equipment has changed throughout the years. As far as the comm center, radio council equipment has been upgraded at all 3 of the dispatch centers, so that's reflected in this. The ownership of the equipment in the past has been under Woodbury County, now it'll be under the STARCOM Executive Board. So those are the highlights of the amendment.
Have we had anybody review this legally?
Actually, Mr. Widman and City Attorney's Office is going to put it together. It has been through all of the other entities, through Sergeant Bluff. City of Sergeant Bluff's attorney and their councils approved it. Sousa City's council approved it. Their attorneys reviewed it. Woodbury County or
Union County.
Dakota County's the same. North City, Union County. It's all been through their boards. This is the final step will be Sioux City Council, which will be on the agenda as soon as it gets through this board.
I'll move it.
Motion by Potabom, second by Taylor. Any discussion on it? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, that passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 8, Board Administration, Dennis Butler, approval of set date for hearing of issuance of urban renewal tax increment revenue bonds for November 12, 2019 at 4:45 p.m.
Okay, what we do here, this does set the issuance of urban renewal tax increment bonds. We decided to go with 10 million instead of 7 million. The reason we went with 10 million, well, we're going to go to 5, but Originally, we're gonna just do what we're gonna issue this year, then do another one next year with council, with Bob there. We suggested go to 10 million. That way you can do the loan this year and next year without the second hearing. So we covered the 10 million on the first one. And originally, we're gonna go 7 million, 3 million, but with the rates and a different possible funding mechanism, we're gonna go 5 million, 5 million. 5 million this year to be closed by December 1st. Second one we'll do after January, with probably different interest rates at that point in time, which will hopefully be lower. So that's just to update what we plan on doing. And once we get it going, we'll give you amortization schedules and stuff, show you how it's affecting taxes and the interest rates. So he needs a motion to set the date and the time.
I'll move the date on the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Raddick, second by Young. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes 5-0. Item 9, secondary roads, approval to set November 19th, 2019 at 4:45 PM for a public hearing for consideration of granting an access easement to the Haddock Farm in section 15 T86 and R45W.
The Haddock Farm has been crossing county land here for quite some time. When the West Fork of the Little Sioux River was last straightened, I think it was about a 1998-2000 project that occurred that bought up a lot of the flood inundated properties in Holly Springs after prior flood there. Resulted in the closure of Humboldt Avenue, which was a road that used to go down to where this farmstead was. Humboldt used to go down past this farmstead and then cross West Fork of the Little Sioux. All that in the same time period was closed and abandoned. The Haddock family would like to have something that's more permanent in the record, that they can cross county land to do that. The county attorney and I have looked at the easement. The attorney for the Haddock family made the changes that he requested in it. The county attorney recommended that we do have a public hearing, since we're giving up land interest. It's in 331, I think, .361 of the Code of Iowa, that a hearing should be held when the county is granting rights like this across county property. So, again, we'd like to set that hearing for November 19th.
I'll move that.
Second.
Motion by Raddick, second by Young. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Well, I did say ayes that time. I guess I got it wrong. Item 10A, reports on committee meetings. A, B, C, D, and E, I think are all coming from Jeremy here, huh?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I'm not going to go over all of these, but gave you a little bit of an overview last time, and just wanted to provide this in a public setting, not by way of email, but you can see the task forces that the Rolling Hills Regional Governance Board has set up are related to the new onboarding of what are becoming increasingly core services. So you have in front of you the Children's Behavioral Health System. Talked a little bit about the governance board and the next steps there, but this is basically for your reading perusal. The Intensive Residential Service Bed Task Force minutes are there also, as well as the Mobile Crisis Task Force minutes and the whole FY19 annual report. So won't go into a lot of detail other than what we talked about last time, and making sure that people are placed out in the community is a priority with the Residential Service Bed Task Force. And so with that, I'll just make sure that you have all that by way of the agenda. So any questions anybody has, good introduction.
Would be kind of cool at maybe a 6-month or 9-month point or something to have feedback from providers on the new region. And I don't know if that's something we look at, maybe March or something next time after budget's done, to get kind of a 9-month, or maybe even the summer, get an annual interpretation.
Sure. And one thing I just want to commend the region on is if you look at the attendees on these task forces, you will just see sometimes as many as 3 dozen, including oftentimes our sheriff's office, well represented with 2, 3, or even 4 individuals. So that's been a great help, and really proud of the region and the work that they're doing.
So anything from Matthew? Marty?
Nope.
Rocky?
No, sir.
All right. Nothing from me. Citizen concern round 2. I think we lost some people. Board concerns round 1. 2. Nothing, you guys? All right. I do have a meeting scheduled on Thursday. It's 11 o'clock, City Hall, to discuss with the mayor and Mayor Pro Tem and City Manager where we are in jail planning and why we need their help moving forward. So that's going to be discussed, and I'm looking to get on their agenda to give a presentation to the council as well. So I did send some of the information that would be on that to you guys individually, so you have a copy. All right, and with that,
What costs will you be asking them to entertain as a ballpark?
possibly nothing. Ideally, if they could donate some land to the county, that would be enough. That would be significant enough for the, at least from the legal interpretation we heard on the, what is it, Chapter 326.27 authority between a city and a county to be a partnership.
I just ask because I don't want it to hang out there that they think there's some request from the county, and the truth is
Yeah,
really,
we're not asking them to put a staff member out there. We're not asking an annual appropriation from the city. But we do have, obviously, an interest in having the city support the process and being a partner moving forward with this. If for anything, just for the sake of the referendum coming up, if we can't convince the largest city in our own county, I don't know that we're going to convince voters that we would need it. So that's why we have to show the condition of the facility and why we're looking at where we're looking at for a new facility. All right. Any other questions? Good to the cause? We're adjourned.